But I want to move on. I want to get into the final piece of the backlash, which is from Ben Shapiro. And today, Ben Shapiro thought he was going to deliver the knockout blow. Ben Shapiro did a 40-minute video playing all the greatest hits from my show. He was appointed to do the takedown. And today, Ben Shapiro did a 40-minute show where he played every clip from my show where I sound like an asshole going back 10 years. Clips from 2018, 2019, literally clips from 9 years ago, saying, I'm a racist, I'm a sexist, I'm a Nazi, I support rape, I support all these terrible things. This is a story about that. This is from Axios. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It says, quote, the Daily Wire's Ben Shapiro torched Tucker Carlson on Monday over his interview with far-right firebrand Nick Fuentes last week, accusing Carlson of polishing abhorrent views that should fall outside the right-wing tent. Shapiro's broadside escalates the war within MAGA over tolerating and defending racism, sexism, and anti-Semitism. Shapiro used his entire show to lambaste Carlson as a coward and a dishonest interlocutor. He rattled off a list of past comments by Fuentes, including Holocaust denialism, saying women shouldn't be involved in politics, claiming it's understandable for white people to be racist. Shapiro said Carlson acts as an ideological launderer. He takes other people's hideous ideas, he softens them. He treats them with love and care, then he provides them with a massive signal boost. He said there's no question that Tucker's become the most virulent super spreader of the vile ideas in America. He insisted he's not interested in canceling Carlson or Fuentes. Both should be allowed to host their shows and have social media, he said, but it's not cancellation to draw moral lines between viewpoints. And I guess those moral lines include firing people. I guess that includes calling for people to be neutralized. I guess that includes firing people for defending people that talk to people. It's always the euphemisms. Ben Shapiro says, I'm not saying we should cancel people. I'm just saying you can't talk to them, employ them. You can't defend them. You can't approve of them. You have to cut all ties with them and you can't be friends with them ever.
Exactly. And for this reason, I really believe, and people will probably hate me or disagree with me, that's all fine. But in my opinion, Ben Shapiro is controlled opposition. I don't trust this guy at all. I feel like he is not America first, he is Israel first. He is cosplaying like a conservative right-wing guy who is like America first, but he isn't. He is a snake, he is controlled opposition if you ask me. And again, this is just my opinion, but I really don't trust this guy at all.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I want to talk specifically about Shapiro's tactics because I found this very interesting. He puts together this compilation of clips from my show over the years where I've said provocative things. And in many of the clips, most of them are not longer than 10 seconds. They take a 5 to 10 second clip and say, here's Nick Fuentes being a sexist. Here's Nick Fuentes being a racist. Here's Nick Fuentes being a Nazi. And he does it in the most smug way possible. Here's him saying this. Oh, well, here's him saying that. And you know what I want to say about all that? I don't apologize for one single thing I've ever said. And would you like to know why? Because we all see right through the tactics. This has always been the tactic from day one, which is this. Whenever somebody criticizes Israel, whenever somebody is identified as a powerful, influential opponent of their real agenda, which is what is happening in the Middle East, they go back to the playbook. And the playbook is character assassination. Do you think that Ben Shapiro really cares about even one of those clips? Do you think he cares about anything that I have ever said on the show? Does he watch my show? Does he understand the context of any of those things? Does he care? Does he think those are an honest representation of my deepest held views? Does he care if it's honest? The answer is no. Would you like to know why? I'll give you a perfect counterexample. Ben Shapiro is friends with Dave Rubin. For those that don't know anything about Dave Rubin is a homosexual. He's in a gay marriage, and Dave Rubin has adopted children through surrogacy. That means that him or his partner artificially inseminated some woman with the intention and the purpose of eventually that woman has the child, and the child is adopted by Dave and his partner. This is evil. This is among the most evil things, short of, let's say, murder, that a person can imagine. Why is that? And it's not because of a disgust reflex. It's not because it's because you are creating a child. You are bringing a life into the world with the intention of depriving that child of their mother. Think about that. Think about what your mother means to you. Your mother is the person that loves you more than anyone else in the world. Your mother would die for you, literally take a bullet for you. There is nobody on earth, and obviously there's exceptions to this. There's people that are mentally ill. There's women that have, weird things with their children. But the default, women, mothers in particular, they come the closest to unconditional love that you will ever experience from anyone on earth. And Dave Rubin and his partner are involved in the evil of surrogacy, which is to bring a life into the world, an innocent child that had no business in any of this, never consented to this, to take that child from their mother, rip them from the womb, rip them from their mother, and say, you're with two guys now. You're with two big, hairy, sweaty guys.
Big, hairy, sweaty guys. But I understand the point Nick is trying to make here, and I also agree with him. Like, it's kind of selfish if you ask me, because this child has no choice. Like, he is just growing up with two dads, and like, again, Nick just explained, it's very important to have a mom as well, and this kid didn't have one choice. So I feel like it's kind of selfish to do this, and this can only happen in the crazy world we live in now. Like, 50 years ago, this was not even allowed to do it. It was not even possible. But again, this is my opinion. I'm curious how you think about this. Like, would you agree with this? I highly doubt it.
Not your mother. What does that do to a child? What does that do to a human being? Where would we be without our mothers? You want to talk about, in one of my clips, I jokingly said, women like rough sex. That's the gist of it. I said, women like when you beat the shit out of them. I'm joking and talking about how women like rough sex. That seems to be the trend these days. I don't think that's controversial. And so they say, Nick says he loves rape. Really? Dave Rubin, this is a crime. This is like a prosecutable crime. Brought a child into the world to take the child from their mother. And Shapiro's friends with this guy. Interviews this guy, hangs out with him, drinks with him, smokes cigars with him. So now tell me again that it's about clips from my show. Tell me again that it's because I'm a sexist. Tell me again it's because I'm a reprehensible person. Ben Shapiro just got back from Israel, where he met with Netanyahu. Netanyahu has been prime minister of Israel for 20 years. How many children has he been involved in the murder of? How many rapes from the IDF has Netanyahu been involved in? He is a war criminal, according to the ICC and the ICJ, and, by the way, our own government. A murderer, a killer, a warmonger, a war criminal. So let's back this up, Shapiro. You got a problem with jokes on a show. You got a problem with edgelord jokes on a show by a guy, a talk show host. But you sit with people that take children from their mother. You sit with war criminals, bloodthirsty maniacs. He's on trial in 5 different cases in his own country. His own people hate him. That's okay? Tell me again it's about clips. Tell me again it's about being an edgelord or jokes. It's not. And it's never been about that. And he sits there on his show smug. Oh, here's him being here. He said this. He said, and it's a 10-second clip.
Oh, bro, Nick is on fire. Like, for real. I really wish Nick and Ben Shapiro would have a debate. I feel maybe it will end up in a fight or something. But I really like how Nick, like, just look at how Nick is, like, roasting Ben Shapiro. Like, come on, there's not many people in America who can do this. And Nick is actually doing this. And I completely agree with Nick on this one. Ben Shapiro is a big hypocrite. He is acting like, again, like this conservative good guy. He isn't. He isn't. Look what Nick just said. He's best friends with Netanyahu. Do I have to explain you anything more? We can't trust this guy. Or, I mean, I will talk for myself. I don't trust this guy at all. And I hope you don't too. Because this guy is just like, it's just a plant. It's a plant. It's a controlled opposition plant. Like, for real, I don't trust this guy at all. And we should be really careful about people like this who have a lot of power in our country. They're so dangerous. They're a potential threat to our country, if you ask me. It's like insane that these people, that they think that they can tell conservative people, what they can say and what they can't say. Who is Ben Shapiro to tell us what we can say, what we can say? Like, for real, man, this guy is like so annoying.
And you know what that is? That is a coordinated smear campaign. People don't understand how this works. You've got people at Daily Wire that get paid a salary to watch my show. Not because they like it, not because they're interested in it. They get paid. Every time I say something off color, they take the timestamp, they download the clip, and they put that in the folder. What's the purpose of this? So that if somebody ever goes off the reservation, if somebody becomes an inconvenience, we're going to throw that out there and we're going to air that out. Oh, well, you might think this guy's against Israel, but we'll look at this clip. It's dishonest. It's a lie. This is what they do. Accuse, point the finger, blame. You said this, you did that. Don't listen to him. This is how they operate. Said another way, this is what they do to the politicians. That's blackmail. You don't think that's what Jeffrey Epstein was involved in? You don't think that's what the Mossad and the Shin Bet are involved in? Blackmail, intimidation, bullying. If you don't go with what we say, we will destroy your reputation. We'll blackmail you, we'll intimidate you, we'll hurt people you love. We'll take your career, we'll take your money, we'll hurt your life. So you better go along with it. That's what they do. And the whole operation is built on dishonesty. So let's just stop with the games. We don't need to play games anymore. Everybody knows what this is about. And it's not about clips. You know what this is about? This is about Israel. Everybody knows that. Here's the proof, and I can prove it to you. People think I'm going to come out and say, well, yeah, in this clip I said this, and I'm sorry about that. It's a bad faith attack. It's a bad faith character assassination. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that's how they play. That's why everybody's walking on eggshells and got to be so politically correct because they're afraid of that. I'm not afraid of that. I know what this is. You know what this is. Everyone knows how they operate at this point. This is about the fact that Ben Shapiro only cares about Israel. He's a single issue voter. If he thinks you're with Israel, he supports you. If he thinks you're against Israel, he doesn't support you. That's simple. Israel is doing their make or break, once and for all push to destroy Iran and all of Iran's proxies in Lebanon and Gaza and Yemen and Iraq, etc. And they need all the support they can get. Right now in America, support for this war and for Israel is collapsing. It's in free fall. For the Democrats, for the Republicans. For Shapiro, this is very alarming. They need everybody to get back on board. And if somebody like myself, whether you like or agree with me or not, you don't have to like me, you don't have to agree with me, you don't have to defend everything I've ever said. I wouldn't defend everything I've ever said. I'm a human being. They want you to stop listening to me when I talk about this. That's what that's about.
And that's insane, right? I mean, you can say whatever you want about Nick Fuentes, but you can't call this man a liar. He is speaking some facts, some real facts. And again, he just mentioned it too. You don't have to agree with everything he said. Always use your own brain. That's very important. but he says some things what many people think about, but they're too scared to talk about. And this is also the reason why people like Nick Fuentes, but also a Candace Owens, also a Tucker Carlson, also a Dan Bilzerian, a Joe Rogan, and Alex Jones, many people, they are talking about some things what not many people talk about. And this is the reason why those people are getting a lot of traction, why many people like to watch those people, because they're talking about the things where many people don't talk about. And again, I really appreciate the fact that Nick is doing this, and you have to ask yourself, do you trust Ben Shapiro or do you trust Nick Fuentes? Because I will put like my money on Nick Fuentes. I don't trust Ben Shapiro at all. Again, I can say it over and over again. I think Ben Shapiro is controlled opposition, and I'm very curious how you think about this. Do you agree with me on this one, or do you disagree with me on this one? Please share your opinion in the comments. I'm very curious. Is Ben Shapiro controlled opposition? Yes or no?
You can think I'm all of the above. It doesn't make me wrong. You can call me Holocaust denier, anti-Semite. You can call me all those things. It wouldn't change anything because I'm right about this. All of that may be true. It may be false. It might be. I'm not going to try to convince you that everything I've said is awesome or the best or you even agree with it. I'm right about this. And the proof, here's how you know this irrefutably. With Shapiro in particular, he was barking up the wrong tree with this one because he canceled me before I said any of those things. Any of those things. The clips that he put on his show today, they're from 2025, 2024, they're from 2021, 2019. They go back 7 years. But on December 25th, 2016, that's the first time that Ben Shapiro called me an anti-Semite. Would you like to know why? This is what I said to Ben Shapiro on Christmas Eve in 2016, 9 years ago. Before I started this show, before the Groyper War, before any of it, before any one of those clips, the Cookie Monster, the Holocaust, well, all that stuff, before any of it. This is what I said on December 25th, 2016. I said, and I quote, "I have never read an article skeptical of Israel on Daily Wire. I've never read an author on Daily Wire who was skeptical of Israel." That was the tweet. So all these, oh, he said this, he's a Holocaust denier, he's a Nazi, he's a real Nazi because he said this, because he said that. 9 years ago, before I had a show, before I had 1,000 followers on Twitter, when I was 18 years old, when I was a freshman, before anyone knew who I was, when I was a normie, when I was a basic conservative, I said, I've never heard Ben Shapiro criticize Israel. And do you know what he said to me in response? He said, and I quote, "Accusing any American Jew who is pro-Israel of being Israel first is a pure form of anti-Semitism." And that is what it has always been about from day one. It ends just as it began. They tried to cancel me 9 years ago. They failed. They tried to censor me, and they did. They blacklisted me. They destroyed my reputation. They turned my friends against me. They made me unemployable. I've had people show up to my house with a gun to try to kill me because of what these people have said about me for 9 years. And 9 years later, they tried ignoring me. They tried canceling me, all these things. Now, in the end, when I have all of the youth on my side, when I am ascendant, when my ideas are clearly the future of the GOP, now they end just as they began. The cancel culture, the clips. Basket of deplorables. He's a racist, sexist, homophobe, anti-Semite, when in reality, the only thing these people care about, the only thing they have ever cared about, is themselves. The Jewish community and Israel. That is what they care about. That is why Shapiro canceled me on Christmas in 2016 because before I said anything, I said, you have never criticized Israel. Isn't that something? And it's true. And I was onto something. And he told me, you're accusing me of being Israel first? You're an anti-Semite. You're a Nazi. You got to go. And 10 years later, I've said a lot more things since. Now they want to say it's about everything else. It has always been about this. This country is at war. We are at war in the Middle East. Israel is fighting to take the Gaza Strip with ethnic cleansing, the West Bank with ethnic cleansing. They're going to invade Lebanon. They ousted Bashar Assad. They want us to go to war in Iran. They supported Trump because they were confident that Trump would do these things, that Trump would bomb Iran, and he did, and he will again, I'm sure. They were confident that Trump would let them annex the West Bank.
I wouldn't be surprised if he still does, because Donald Trump is also like, you can say whatever you want, but I don't feel like Donald Trump is really America first at this point. So I feel like he has also been bought by some country from the Middle East, if you understand what I mean. Because he is, Nick just said it, he's also bombing Iran whenever they wanted it to do. He is like...
what Israel wants. This is what's good for Israel. It's not good for us. And now that people like Tucker Carlson and myself and everybody else are saying loudly, and with free speech on the internet, we're able to say it. Now that we are saying this is not what anyone voted for, this is not America first, this is a betrayal, this is not in our best interest, this is wrong and it's got to stop. Now they want to say this is about everything other than what it's actually about. This is about racism, sexism, Russia, Putin, this, that, and the other. Do not let them gaslight you. This is about America first or Israel first. It's not about me. It's not about Tucker Carlson. It's not about things we said in the past or an interview or whether it was sympathetic. This is about the war in the Middle East. This is about whether these people have a right to control our country.
Exactly. And this is the reason why Nick is getting so popular, why he is getting so much traction, because he's talking about these important things where not many people know about, but where they should know about. So again, I'm very curious about your opinion on this whole subject as well. Like, do you agree with Nick with what he just said here? Do you disagree with him? Please share your opinion in the comments. I'm very curious about your opinion, and it's also good to say I read all comments. So please share your opinion in the comments. If you like this video, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. And last but not least, guys, I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.